الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه أستغفر الله ربي من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. A sign of a man of intellect in this day and age is that he is aware of the society he lives in. He is aware of the affairs of his country. He is aware of the interests of the youth. He is aware of all the problems and ills that will face him in the society. ये एक निशानी है उस मर्द का जिसके पास अक्ल हो कि वो जाने, वो सीखे उसके हालात, उस मुल्क का प्रॉब्लम और फितने जो आते हैं उसको पता होना है। उसको भी जानना होगा कि मेरे जो बच्चे जो इधर पालेंगे, इधर सीखेंगे, किस बच्चे के साथ सीखेंगे, क्या सीखेंगे, कैसे सोचते हैं। This is the sign of a man of intellect, a man who has fikr. Now, for us to reflect over the time that we have, or the time that we are in, the first source is our news. And as I mentioned last week, that now there are reports coming from the government that people no longer watch the news. कि बंदे न्यूज़ भी नहीं देखते अब. Why? Because they say that they are scared. We fear. When we watch the news, we get depressed. All we see is that this person has been killed. All we see that this bomb has gone off. All we see that this robbery has happened. These things make us depressed. So we don't watch it, so we just occupy ourselves with other things. This is a big problem. If you do not have a clue what's going on in the news, then how can you plan for the future? How can you plan for the future when you have no idea what's going on in the present? And how can you plan for the future and act in the present when you have no idea what happened in the past? What they say is that intelligence is learning from your own mistakes and wisdom is learning from others. Meaning that I don't have to go through the same problem, I don't have the same mistake, make the same mistake in order to know that this is wrong. I should look at other people, where else other people have failed or fallen, and say, you know what, I can do that same thing. So for the time that we are living in, the problem we face, our main sources of guidance are what? The Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. There are many books and many works written on the end times, its signs, its calamities, what you will see. And the Prophet ﷺ has given us many. And just from my research, just from what I have looked at and what many scholars have looked at, they all agree that the majority have come, which is scary for us. Majority of the minor signs have come. There is a narration where the Sahaba ajma'in was crying. And when they were asked, why are you crying so much? They were crying so much that beards were soaking, they were dripping with tears. Why are you crying so much? And the Sahaba ajma'in said, we are crying because we feel that the Dajjal is going to come in our time. They feel that the Dajjal is coming in their time. What signs did they have? What inkling of fear did they have that the Dajjal will come in their time, yet they cried? Yet in our time, when 90% of the signs have come, we see the degradation of our ummah around us, we see the degradation of our youth around us, and we don't cry. We live a jolly life. We walk around happy, we're just lost in our own acts and our own habits. The Prophet ﷺ said in another hadith that ad-dunya sijnul mu'min wa jannatul kafir. That this dunya is a prison for the believer and it is a heaven for the disbeliever. What should you learn from this? Reflect over yourselves. The life you live in this world, could you say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it was like a prison for me? It was like a prison, I hated it, I didn't like it, I wanted freedom from it. Or are you those people who live in this life? You were always chilling, you were always enjoying yourself. Then how will you go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, this wasn't a Jannah for you? You can't have the best of both worlds. You can't have a Jannah here and a Jannah next. It's a trade-off. You won't have one of the two. And if you are living here in this world as a mu'min, then it's going to become a prison for you regardless. And if it is not, then know that you are not living the life of a mu'min. Now, there are many ahadith, which is a very scary point. There are many ahadith that say that the Dajjal will arrive before the year 1500. The Dajjal will arrive before the year 1500. We are in what? 1444? What does that leave us with? 55, 56 years? 55, 56 years that we may see this happen. And now, ulama do analyze this, and they do say that these are da'if hadith. But when you have many weak things, and you put them together, they got some sort of strength. And then you have to look at it logically. That 1500, why would they pick this number? And what are the chances that as we're getting close to 1500, the world is on its backside? The world is all over the place. The fitna, the minor signs that the Prophet ﷺ described, they've come. Is adultery not widespread? Is musical instruments not on their head? Do people not just like Bedouins? Are the Arabs not competing for high towers? Is alcohol not prevalent amongst the Muslims? Is children out of wedlock not populating now? Of course it is. So then we should fear that what if this hadith has actually got some fruit to it? What if it is going to come before the year 1500? Big chance that we may be alive. If it is not us, then it will be our children. If it is not our children, then it will be our grandchildren. Now every generation has defended and prepared for the arrival of the Dajjal. The Prophet ﷺ himself has said that no prophet has come before me except that he warned his ummah of the Dajjal. I am a prophet and I am doing the same to you. I am warning you against him. And the Prophet ﷺ also mentions in Muslim Ahmad, if you want to know that the sign of the time is near of the end of the world, then know that the Imam will abandon speaking about the Dajjal on the minbar. They will stop speaking about him. And I have seen it personally growing up. I remember there used to be Dajjal and minor science talks all over the place. Now not even one. Even the videos on YouTube people used to make, even they're dwindling slowly. Less and less are being made. Because again the Prophet ﷺ, whatever he has said, it was always the truth. And it will come to fruition, whatever he has said. So let's look at some of these signs. And the purpose of looking at these signs is so we can relate and say, what? Wait in this time? We need to fix ourselves there. It's a reminder. The Prophet ﷺ said, Sayyati zaman ala ummati, that a time is soon, a time will come upon my ummah. And then he says that the barefooted Bedouins will compete in erecting high towers. Now in the Arab world, we had previously the race to the moon. But now in the Arab world, there is a new race taking place, and this is known as the race to the sky. What is happening is that these Arab nations, namely Dubai, Saudi, Kuwait, Morocco, they are competing in building these big towers. Just as they made the Burj Khalifa, just as they made the clock tower in the Haroon Sharif. They are competing in making these towers. So Dubai this year have commissioned and said, we're going to build a tower even bigger than what we've already got. What did Morocco turn around? Oh, if you're doing that, then we're going to do one even bigger. This is in our culture as well. When someone has a wedding, they say, oh, I told you something, this wedding, I need to do a bigger one. I need more lights, I need more numbers, I need more cars outside. This is what these people are doing now, just one-upping each other. Now I ask you, this building of towers, was this not the act of Pharaoh? In the Quran, in Surah Qasas, verse 38, what does Haroon say? بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا هامان على الدين فاجعل لي صرحا لعلي أطلع إلى إله موسى. That Haroon said to Ya Haman, his right hand man, that go and make me a tower, make me somewhere to get to the sky so I may look at this Lord of Musa. If this God exists that he claimed, then let me go look at him. This was a challenge from Haroon. So now the same practice, is this not what we're doing? What are the points of these towers? What benefit have they brought the Ummah? And the same people that are racing, and these are not cheap projects. These are billions, multi-millions going into this. Multi-millions. So on the day of judgment, where every single penny will be held accountable, where every atom of oxygen that went into will be held accountable, every morsel of food you ate will be accountable. How will these people account for every penny that they wasted on these things? When the Muslim countries around the world are starving, they are war-stricken, these same countries are doing fundraising for them. Why don't you fundraise it yourself? Look at the World Cup, Qatar, the amount of people that come up and they were saying, oh, 1,000 people have accepted Islam at Qatar. MashaAllah, it's a good thing. Do that excuse that they spent 400 billion of Muslim money on a football event? When Yemen right next to them is starving, when Syria is suffering, when China, when Palestine, when all these countries are suffering, our leaders are more focused on making events. This is a typical thing. This is what the Romans used to do. This was the emperors. Whenever there used to be problems, and the society and the people used to get upset, and they start challenging the emperor would make a colosseum. He would put some games in there. People would become distracted. They go, okay, let's go watch the game. Forget about what happened. So now, again, the point of this, how will the Prophet ﷺ know this? He's talking about those that were with him. These same people that don't have shoes on their feet now, these same people that you're looking now will build the biggest towers in the world later on. How could he have known this had he not been the truthful messenger ﷺ? But again, it's something for us to fear. He said this 1400 years ago. When did this come true? Now. Our time. We're the ones that have seen these towers. Another hadith that the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned and has come to light just as recently as January or February, if I'm not mistaken. The Prophet ﷺ said that the lands of Arabia will become meadows and rivers in a time where everything is barren. Now, if you were to look into around the world, you will see that a lot of countries are suffering now. Their crops are not growing, their farms are not growing, they don't have the right conditions, whether it's sunlight, whether it's water, whatever it may be. They're suffering. But they're saying that in this barren land, this desert, out of nowhere greenery has grown. This is not ordinary, this is extraordinary. And this is not something for us to be shocked about. We know. We shouldn't look at it and think of some scientific marvel. We should look at it and be scared. That, okay, this is exactly what the Prophet warned us about. That when you see this, know that the time is near. And it's just happened in my time. I've just seen this meadow go green. So when you pair these two together, and the Prophet ﷺ not spoken the truth, did he not? I wouldn't even say predict. He knew these things were going to go. And we've seen them in our time. Another sign, Sayyati al-Zaman ala ummati, that time will come upon my ummah, that the people will reject the hereafter for the luxuries of this world. People will leave the treasures of the next life chasing this world. As I mentioned to you, I think last week, where I mentioned a study that says that 51% of women between the ages 25 and 40 will be single in the year 2030. They will not be married. They may have kids, which is problematic again outside of marriage. But they will not be married and they will not have kids. What is the reason for this? Is exactly what this hadith said. That now our women, our females are being pushed towards go build success. Go make a business. Go earn wealth. Build yourself up. And then worry about these things later. Again, doing what? They neglect their duties in Islam and they chase this world. But like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, and as you can see from these things, when you chase the dunya, you will lose more than you gain. So these people spend their youth, they spend their prime years chasing the dunya, and then they're scared about marriage later on. You've left it too late. Same with our people. I'll give you an example. When I first started studying, I used to work in a factory. And I remember going there my first week, and it was all time. So I asked them, where's the prayer room? I was guided by one of the managers, the prayer room over there. And I see this was a majority Muslim environment. So I thought, okay, it's going to be a big place. There's going to be a lot of people in there. It's going to be a rush. Brothers, I went in there, that room could not even hold 3 people. In a business where there are 300 Muslims, the prayer room could only hold 3 people. Do you think there was a line outside? Do you think there was a line to do absolutely nothing? And this was shocking for me to see. Maybe I was naive, whatever it may be. And I remember asking the brother next to me that why is it like this? He goes, why would there be a supply when there's no demand? The Muslims themselves don't want to pray. Why are they going to give you a prayer room when it's not going to be used? So you ask the people, brother, why don't you come pray? Oh, it's my break, I need to eat. Okay, so your food has become worth more than your prayer. Brother, why don't you just come on your break? They give you breaks, why don't you take it and pray to Allah? No, they're going to cut my hourly wage. So for £10, you neglected your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Other ones, they'll go upstairs and these same brothers will be speaking to women, or they'll be flirting with women, or speaking to their friends. But they neglect their prayers. So they will have worked a day, they will have earned risk and money for their family, but they will have done it neglecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask you, what barakah, what blessing will this wealth hold? What blessing does this wealth hold when you neglect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to attain it? If it means you have to miss prayer, then do whatever you need to do. Ask the manager, look, I need to pray. If they're not going to, if they're so adamant they won't let you pray, then it's your fault to find another job. People don't know this, they ask, what shall I do? The ulama give you an instruction. Do your best to try to pray your prayers. If you can't, leave, find somewhere else. Again, this is what I'm saying, that the people will reject the akhirat chasing this world. This world is not worth it. How many emperors, how many rich people have come and gone? They're not remembered, we don't know their names. They live like kings on the earth, we don't know them. We will never know them, we don't need to know them. But those that we do know are people that did not work for this world, they work for the next world. And it is their name, it is their praise, it is them that we do dua for, even though they passed away so many years ago. Sayyati zaman ala ummati, the Prophet ﷺ said, a time will come where people will dress like Bedouins. Now this is a very rare hadith, it's difficult to find. And many people don't understand what do they mean that people will dress like Bedouins. And I say the youth will understand what I'm talking about. They will know what I mean by the Yeezy clothing line. Now, if you look at the shift in fashion over just the past century alone, British men, English men living here would wear suits, ties, whatever they used to wear. This is their smart, fitted clothing. But now what has the shift gone towards? It has become baggy and dull-colored clothing. If you look at the Yeezy line, when he was the pioneer of all this. This was the starting point. His whole line was clothes with massive tears in them, massive holes in them. Colours have gone from bright and extravagant to now brown, dull, sand, these drabby colours. And they're baggy. The only thing what's wrong with that is it's comfortable. It is not about comfort. One, it is about presentability, and two, it is about the psychological effects. And the studies show that when a person dresses like that, his mind also becomes lazy. If a man goes to work in joggers, he's going to be less efficient. There's no studies on this. So we have to think that why has our fashion geared towards this? I can't even show you, if I had a TV, I could show you some of the weird fashion that is coming out now. They are just trying to distort normality. They're trying to make you think, be outside the box, be unique, be different. And they'll convince you and you'll be like, you know what, they're right, I should be different, I should be unique. No. Another synonym for unique is weird, out of place, not following what's meant to be normal. We dress according to how we present in our society, dressing, wearing baggy, ripped clothing. If I being your imam, I came to you with baggy ripped clothing, would anyone leave behind me? So then how would somebody out there, how does he expect to earn respect when he dresses like this? The Prophet ﷺ said that Siyati zaman ala ummati, that a mother will give birth to her master. Now over the years, many ulama have grappled with this, given different interpretations. And I think the strongest interpretation, and I think it has come set in our time, that a mother will give birth to a son or a daughter that will control them. Easy proof of this People have watched TV, people on social media, you'll have seen the Dr. Phil show, or shows like that. What do? They bring problematic children on. They bring the parents will say, oh, the daughter, this son hits me all the time, he's abusive to me. And this is not just one episode, this is 100 episodes. There are so many cases coming out. That the mother will give birth, she won't be the parent, she will become the child, she will become the slave. And he will control, he will order. Mum, get me a PS5. The mum doesn't get it, he'll start to cry and he'll force her to get it. A son will threaten his father. What are you going to do? I'm going to go out. They will even be this, but the means that they will raise their hands to their parents. And the Prophet ﷺ told us, this time is going to come. You should have expected it. This time is going to come. How will the Prophet ﷺ know this? That back then, children will be on their knees in front of their parents. How could the Prophet be going to predict that later on in the future, it will be the parents on their knees? It will be the parents chasing after their children. It will be the parents crying over their children. Where it should be the other way around. The children should be the happiness of the parents. And just the final sign to finish on, that nowadays, Sayyati Zaman ala Ummati, the Prophet ﷺ said at the end of time, people will swear upon trivial things. Nowadays, the amount of times I've seen in football, it won't even be something clear, they'll be taking Wallahi. Wallahi, bro, it went tennis a goal. They'll take Wallahi on football. We do not understand the weight that it means to take Allah's name on a oath. And the reason is that people don't realize. They'll say MashaAllah, they'll say in a joking way. They say Astaghfirullah and they'll be joking in a mocking way. They don't realize this is very close to kufr. It's disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. So when we speak, we should worry and we should think twice before speaking. How many hadiths to the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, protect the tongue, guard the tongue, preserve the tongue, watch your tongue. How many times? Because this is the most dangerous weapon that we have. The most dangerous. So we should speak as less as possible. That's the main thing. Number one. We should speak less as possible. And if we are to speak, we should think, what are we saying? Is what I am saying right? Is what I am saying true? There is a test, I will finish off on this. There was a Greek philosopher, one of his students came to him and he said, I need to tell you something about so and so. The philosopher said, just hold on a minute before you tell me. He goes, what? He goes, is what you're about to say true? I don't know. Oh, okay. Is what you're about to say good about the person? No. Okay. Is what you're about to say beneficial to me? He stopped for a while and thought, no, it's not. So the philosopher said to him, so you took time out of your day to walk from your house to my house to tell me something that one is not true, one is not good, and three is not even beneficial. What is the point of you telling me? These same 3 steps is exactly what we should do before we speak. Do a checklist. Is what I'm about to say true? Is what I'm about to say good? And is what I'm about to say beneficial? If it's not beneficial, then you're wasting your time. If it's not true, then you're lying. And if it is not good, then you just don't backbiting. And every single one of these is a cause of destruction for us. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He guides us in these testing times. He allows us to become connected to the Quran and the Sunnah. Because this is the only way we will be acquainted with the signs and the recognition of the job. And as you can see from the signs, what I've informed you of the year 1500, all the other evidences in the lie that I published and the world you live in, brothers know that time is near. Time is running out even. We have to turn back. Even a little act it may be, whatever we can do, we have to do it now. The first thing has to be our prayers. The namaz has to go back into our lives and the masjid needs to be repopulated. Once that takes place, then we can see advancement, then we can see progress. Until that point, we will not see anything. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He strengthen our iman, He protects us from the evil of the shaitan and the dajjal, and He protects us from the evil of the end times. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. Inshallah, perform your sunnahs and then the imam will take place after that. Just an announcement as well. At the back, you may have seen coming in, and downstairs are the ladies, they are doing free health checks for anyone 18 and above. So we advise that anyone that is going past, it is definitely a useful and beneficial thing for everyone to do. As you know, how difficult it is to get into a surgery nowadays. They've come very easy for us, and plus it is a free service, then definitely inshallah use it. Just as I've got a bit of time remaining, I guess I shall mention another side. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His blessed Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, has informed us that adultery will be rampant in the end times. And we see now, I've seen this degradation over the generations, that now you go into the city centre of a Muslim populated city, and now the youngsters don't even have the sharam to hide their relationships. You will see them walk hand in hand. You will see them put it on their social media. You will know, parents know about it. This is how badly we've fallen. That parents are aware of it. They invite the boyfriend or the girlfriend to come over to the house. This adultery has absolutely ruptured and destroyed our marriages. I cannot tell you the amount of stories that come out now of people that are spotted with the women of the night, known that they are married. And a big problem of this is social media. When a man will look at his wife, she may be beautiful, she may be perfect, let's call her perfect, but he will go on Instagram and these things are geared towards this. They will send him 100 different women, they will send him 100 different couples, and then the comparison game starts. And as the quote, that comparison is the thief of joy. These people will begin to compare and they will look elsewhere. Everyone knows the grass always looks greener on the other side. And these are the things that our people gear towards. This is why we advise against free mixing. This is why we advise that a man lowers his gaze, a woman covers herself, to prevent all these sorts of things. But as you know, the society we live in, it pushes all of this. You see on TV, your marriages are pushed more towards love rather than towards purpose. Your lives are pushed towards desires rather towards purpose. So we should reflect and come back to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger informed us, that we all have a purpose, we all have a set goal and a path. And it all starts from the lowest generation up to the top. We have to pass the education, we have to pass the deen and this, this strength and this love for the religion down to our children. The times are coming, like I said, the times are coming. We've seen signs coming in our time, when we're old, when we passed away, our children are going to see the next signs. They have to be prepared, they have to be ready. And for that first, our generation have to change. As we shorter time, inshallah, we will resume this from next week. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَى الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. We'll perform sunnah, inshallah, Jummah will take place after.